Hello everybody and welcome to the show. Today we are going to be looking at Shift from Alpha Team 1 from the Final Faction. There are her stats and her bio. There's the rest of the wave for Series 1 and the plot of the show and where you can watch it. So today we're not just looking at Shift, but we're also going to look at her accessory pack. Blades. Alright, so let's get them out of the packaging and take a look at what we got. So first up, I wanted us to look at the accessory pack because it has so much cool information about each one of the weapons that come in the pack. And then here you can see that there's a bunch more accessory packs out there to collect for both the Kharn and the Final Faction. Alright, so there we have Shift. And here's that awesome artwork that she was covering up while she was in the package. Looks really good. I always appreciate it. So if we take a look at the actual figure itself, let's take off our accessories for now and just look at the sculpt work. Like I've mentioned before, I think Final Faction is getting much better at their painting and at their sculpting because their faces have improved a ton. You can actually see the sculpt of the lips and the nostrils, and the paint on the eyes and the eyebrows look pretty well done. This might be the best Shift action figure I've bought so far. And it only costs $1.25 from Dollar Tree. Wow. Let's look at the articulation. Since it's Final Faction, there's only going to be 5 points of articulation. We're going to get a head swivel. It's a little hindered by her hair, but you can force it across. You got a 360 at the shoulders, and you can go out to about 90 with her hips. That's all the articulation that she has. Now let's move on to her accessories. Here we can see all the accessories. The black swords are the only things that came with the figure itself, and then everything else is with the Blades accessory pack. And here she is, holding a couple of her accessories. You can see that the chain for the nunchuck is actually real, but since it is plastic and not metal, it is going to be very fragile. Here she is with a couple more of her accessories. I'm not sure if that's how she's supposed to be holding this bladed weapon here, but that's kind of the only way that she can hold it in this position. But with the shuriken, I thought this was a really nice touch. I don't know if they did this on purpose. So you can see that it's sculpted in such a way that her hands can easily grab onto it. It almost has like a spot there for her thumb. That way she holds on to the shuriken very, very well. That's awesome. And here's a close-up of her holster that comes included with the Blades accessory pack. It has a spot for all of her weapons, and that little post there in the middle is for the shuriken. Here she is with the Blades accessory pack all stored away on her back. You can get every single one of those blades into that sheath that came with it, and the sheath is the same color as her gloves, so it matches very, very well. I think that's awesome. But that's not the most impressive part in my opinion. One of the reasons why I like Final Faction so much is because they clearly put a lot of thought into their characters and everything that they seem to produce. So you can see here that she's able to stand even with everything on. But you might be wondering, what are you going to do with the swords that came with her? Well, they have this little hole here in one of the weapons that you can port the swords into, and now she has all of her weapons attached to her at the exact same time. And she's still able to stand. I think that's awesome. And just in case you didn't know, the swords are removable, the ones that came with her originally. And if you're curious how to put all the blades into the pack, just make sure that the staff is closest to her body. That way it gives clearance for this blade to be ported on top of the shuriken. And then the nunchucks, again, put them in the hole closest to her back. And you should be able to fit all of her accessories on her all at the same time. Alright, now let's get to the comparisons. So first up, from DC Spin Master, we have Solomon Grundy. And also from the DC Spin Master line, we have the new Batgirl. You can see Solomon Grundy is supposed to be one of the bigger figures, so he is taller than her, but Batgirl and her are pretty much the same height. Next up, we have the recently reviewed Amari and a customized Torn action figure with the Cyber Arms accessory pack. Both of these are from the Final Faction, and you can see that Shift is smaller than both of them. Alright, next up we have an inspiration for one of her weapons that come in the Blades pack. Here is Michelangelo from the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. And here is Pumpkin Wrapper. And he's too big to even fit in frame. Up next, let's put her with Ruck with his Rampage armor. And a Brute from the Kharn, the enemy of the Final Faction. And both of these I have customized, and both of them pretty much dwarf Shift. And finally, Pumpkin Wrapper's head. Okay. So this brings us to the end of the video, where I'm going to share my final thoughts and see if there's anything that we can improve about this action figure. When it comes to Final Faction, I think they knock it out of the park. The paint, the sculpt, everything's very, very well done, except for the articulation. But I get it. It's only $1.25. They can't go in and make an articulated action figure that will be stable. So that's what I've tried to do. I went in and tried to increase the articulation just a little bit, but it does make her a little less stable. So if we look at the new customized version of Shift, we can see that she still has the same articulation as always, but now she can kick in and out just a little bit more. She can bend at the knee, and she can bend her elbows to about 90, which gives her a little bit more of a in and out, but not in the correct place where you'd probably like it to be. But with this new articulation, it's more likely that she's going to fall, and if she does, I mean, what can I say? Shift happens. Now she's able to grab her sword with both hands and pose a little bit more. Honestly, this was one of my first customs that I did, and I went back and improved it later on. So the cuts in the legs and the arms and stuff are not, they're not well done. I mean, I'll just be honest, they don't look good at all. But I am trying to improve, and I just wanted to show this one off since I was doing the Shift review. So those were my final thoughts on Specialist Shift from the Final Faction. Let me know in the comments below if you actually think that this version is an improvement on the base model that we get for $1.25. And let me know if you'd like to see more reviews of the rest of the Final Faction team. Please remember to like and subscribe, or unlike, and tell me why. I want to know what I can do better to improve this channel. So please remember to go out, have a chuckle, and try to be nice to somebody. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.